So every year when the temperatures drop below freezing or the summer heat gets deadly, there is much concern about how to get our homeless population to adequate shelter. The same concerns continually come up, but no movement has been made by council on a formalized resiliency plan. How do we get that very predictable human concern finally taken care of? And I will start with Nick on this one.
Let me start with this. You know, this is something that came before council just a few weeks ago, really a few months ago, and it wasn't because of council, it was because of the community. And the community came here and said the system was broken. I pointed that out as well. And here's what I found out. Our warming shelters are based off of the raw temperature outside. But what I found out when I was playing pickleball with a friend for the first time is that the regulations for pickleball are that the temperature in which this place is open or shut is based on the wind chill and the heat index outside. So we can tell people when they are or not on their own volition allowed to play pickleball based on the wind chill, but homeless people can't have adequate warmth based on the same thing. These are the kinds of things that we need to revisit, and I'm going to be the kind of representative that listens. This is something that really gets under my skin because I attend a lot of these meetings, is that you have people take time out of their day to come to a council meeting, and whether they have to find a babysitter or they just had a long day's worth of work, and people are pouring their hearts out, like Mama T, who's here, who did it that very week, and brought this issue forward to the council. No one responded publicly. No one said anything. I think that's wrong. I want to be the kind of council member that is going to be responsive to the needs and publicly say where I stand, and so that's just a policy that we can very easily fix.
Respectfully to my opponent, that's simply not true. I've been bringing up this issue for years, since 2021, 2022, the issues of proactive planning. I've had regular meetings with the city manager and the community improvement services, in which I've advocated for wind chill, wet bulb temperatures, and heat index as the standard, in which I've said that we cannot go year after year after year after year of being reactive. We know that winters are cold and summers are hot. I have a history of, and both of us have a history of social media posts. So do I. Go back and look at the record. So these are things that just came up a few weeks ago at the last crisis, at the last winter, but something that we've been talking about forever. And the needle has moved from having shelters at different locations with different response times to coordinating a focus on the current shelter. Now, I actually disagree with the city stance on this. I think you can do proactive shelters and have called for that in the public, warming and cooling stations. But the current stance from the majority of council, and one councilor does not invalidate an entire council, is to have those responses at the ODB shelter out on 288. And those have improved. The number of beds, the number of recliners, the number of mats has improved over the years. And in fact, the recent audit that just came out on the Friday staff report came about substantially because myself and other councilors were demanding an audit from the city management staff as to why we had these reactive and not proactive responses to community efforts.
Thank you.